She laughed when she left, tossed her hair, kissed my cheek like I was a child she'd outgrown, and said the words I didn't realize would change everything. Don't wait up. The door shut behind her like punctuation. Clean. Final. And I stood there in the hallway, holding a half-empty glass of wine, staring at the space where she used to be. I remember the sound of her heels fading down the walkway, that quick, rhythmic click that had once meant everything good was coming home. This time, it sounded like the end of something. Maybe it had ended long before that night, but sometimes you don't hear the glass breaking until the silence hits. The thing is, she used to wait up for me. Back when we were still us, she'd light a candle when I worked late. A small thing, on the kitchen counter, not scented, just soft and warm. A sign that said, "I'm here. Come home." Now the candle was dust. And used. Like so many other things in this house. That night was supposed to be dinner. Nothing fancy. Just pasta, her favorite wine, and a playlist we both pretended to still like. We'd been drifting. That's the word people use when they don't want to admit it's already over. Like you're in a boat, and maybe you can still paddle your way back if you just try hard enough. She came out of the bedroom, dressed to kill. Tight black dress, new earrings I hadn't seen before. Lipstick she never wore around me. "You look amazing," I said. She barely glanced up from her phone. "It's just dinner with coworkers. I'll be back late. Don't wait up." It wasn't the first time, not even the 10th. But something about the way she said it, detached, breezy, like I was her roommate, not her husband, flipped a switch in me. She laughed when she said it. A real laugh. The kind that used to be ours. And I knew. I knew the way you know when someone stops loving you. Not all at once, but like someone dimming the lights one bulb at a time. I sat down at the table alone. Her wine glass sat untouched. Mine didn't. The pasta went cold. The music felt like a joke. That night, I did something I hadn't done in months. I opened her laptop. I didn't go digging, not at first. I just sat with it, watched the screensaver flicker between images from a time when we still held each other without thinking about who we used to be. Then I opened her messages. The folder labeled work stuff. It was too easy. And there he was. Mason, her coworker. The one she said always made too many dumb jokes in meetings. The one she said smelled like a locker room. The one whose name had started showing up in her calendar more than mine. I read messages that undid years and seconds. "He's so predictable." I said don't wait up, and he actually nodded like a puppy. "You free after the meeting?" "Same hotel as last week." "I wish I'd met you first." I couldn't move for a long time. Not out of shock. I think part of me had known. But knowing something and seeing it are different animals. This wasn't a suspicion. It was a confession typed in emojis and careless phrases, sprinkled with LOLs, like it wasn't the collapse of a marriage. I didn't cry. That surprised me. What I felt was colder. Like the part of me that loved her had stepped out of my body, quietly, politely, and left me to finish the night alone. Around midnight, I heard her car pull into the driveway. She was humming when she came in. Tipsy maybe. Or just high off the thrill of being wanted by someone who wasn't her husband. She didn't even notice I was still up. Just walked into the bedroom and kicked off her heels. I stayed on the couch, heart like ice, watching her shadow move through the hallway. She didn't look back. Didn't say goodnight. The next morning, I changed the locks. Not in anger. Not out of spite. But with the quiet, deliberate movements of someone packing up the last boxes of a life he didn't sign up for. The locksmith didn't ask questions. Just did his job. By noon, every key she owned was useless. I boxed her things. Not everything, just the essentials. The rest, I figured she could come back for, with an appointment. I left her the hotel room number I'd found in her messages, the last one they'd used. Scribbled it on a sticky note and taped it to the door, right under her new key code that wouldn't work. Around 6 p.m., she texted, "Running late. Don't wait up." I didn't reply. At 2:17 a.m., she called. 3 times. Then she showed up. I watched her from the window as she walked up the steps, heels in hand, makeup smudged. She tried the door. Once. Twice. Then again, harder. Confusion turned to frustration. Then fear. She knocked. "Babe? Hello? This isn't funny." It wasn't. The door didn't open. But the window was cracked just enough for her to hear my voice when I finally said, "Don't wait up." She stood outside for 12 minutes before she stopped pretending it was a joke. The knock changed. You can hear it. That moment when someone stops being annoyed and starts being scared. When she first arrived, It was playful, even flirtatious. The kind of knock you use when you forgot your keys and expect your partner to roll his eyes and open up. But then I didn't. Seriously, she called out, her voice muffled through the door. Open the door, I'm freezing. I didn't move. Just sat on the edge of the couch, elbows on my knees, phone in hand. I wasn't recording anything. I wasn't planning some dramatic showdown. I just needed a minute to breathe. My own chest felt like it wasn't mine, too tight, too full, like I was wearing someone else's skin. Okay, enough. Open the door. Her tone sharpened. It's not funny anymore. I said nothing. After a minute, I watched her step back and look around like maybe this wasn't real. Like she was trying to process how she, the one who always controlled the tempo of the relationship, was now standing outside her own house in a dress that didn't look as expensive as it probably was. Then she pulled out her phone. I watched her lips move as she dialed. My phone lit up. Tasha, incoming call. I let it ring. She tried again. Texted next. What's going on? Did something happen? This isn't like you. Talk to me, please. I'm sorry if I said something wrong. Just let me in. Let's talk. It was surreal to see her panic typed out in real time. The same woman who used to turn arguments into riddles I could never solve, who'd shut me down with a shrug or a silence so loud it drowned out my own voice. Now here she was, reduced to texts on a locked screen. I wanted to respond. I wanted to say everything at once. But I didn't. I waited until she sat down on the porch steps, face in her hands, elbows on her knees. That's when I stood up and walked toward the door. I didn't open it. Just unlocked the deadbolt, cracked it an inch, and looked her in the eyes for the first time since I found those messages. Her makeup was smeared. Her mascara had given up halfway through whatever emotional storm she'd tried to hold back. But it was her eyes that stopped me. Not sad. Not sorry. Just stunned. Like she was looking at someone she didn't recognize. Tasha, I said, calm as a whisper, go home. Her mouth opened. No words came. She tried again. What are you doing? She asked, like I was the one breaking her world. I didn't wait up, I said. She blinked. What? You told me not to wait up, I said, my voice steady, deliberate. So I didn't. She shook her head. You're not making any sense. I stepped outside then, pulling the door shut behind me. She flinched like she thought I might yell. Maybe she even wanted me to scream, to break something, to match the chaos of her guilt with something she could at least point at and say there it is. That's why this didn't work. But I didn't give her that. I sat on the steps beside her instead. You were with him again tonight, I said. Her silence was all the confirmation I needed. I know about the hotel, the messages, the late nights. Mason. That broke her. She covered her mouth with both hands, like she could shove the truth back in. Her shoulders crumpled. For the first time in a long time, she looked small. I didn't mean for this to happen, she whispered. A line rehearsed in every soap opera and guilty confession. But it did happen, I said. And the worst part isn't that you lied. It's that I kept making room for those lies. She turned toward me. It was a mistake. I shook my head slowly. No, a mistake is spilling coffee on your shirt. What you did, that was a choice. And you made it more than once. She started to cry then. Not the loud, ugly sobs of someone broken by regret, but the quiet, shaking tears of someone who thought the ending would still somehow be on her terms. I thought I had time, she said. I thought. I don't know. I didn't think you'd ever. Change the locks. I finished for her. Stand up for myself? She looked away. That was the moment it hit me. She hadn't been in love with me for a long time. She'd been in love with the version of me who stayed quiet, who looked the other way, who held the door open even when he knew she was walking out just to be with someone else. But I wasn't that man anymore. I stood. You should stay somewhere else tonight. Maybe longer. I'll have my lawyer contact you about next steps. Her hands gripped the hem of her dress, like she was trying to hold on to something. Please don't do this. We can fix it. I'll end it with him. I held up a hand. You laughed when you left, Tasha. Like I was the joke. But I'm not laughing now. And neither are you. Then I turned, opened the door, and closed it gently behind me. No slamming. No final dramatic speech. Just the sound of a bolt sliding into place. The moment I closed the door, the house exhaled. It was subtle, like a sigh released after years of holding its breath. A silence that wasn't empty, it was cleansed. And for the first time in a long time, I heard the stillness for what it was, freedom. I didn't go back to the couch. I didn't sit and replay what just happened. I went to bed. alone. And I slept. Not deeply, but peacefully. Like a man who'd finally stopped trying to rescue something that had already sunk. She didn't call again that night. The next morning, I made coffee like I always did. Same mug, same grind, same ritual. But it tasted different. Not because the beans had changed, but because I had. Around 8:30 a.m., I heard movement outside. A car door. Footsteps. Then the faint murmur of a conversation. Her and someone else. Mason. I didn't look out the window. I didn't need to. I heard her try the door again. Not knocking this time. Just testing. Hopeful. Like maybe the world had reset overnight. It hadn't. An hour later, I got a text. I'm sorry. I don't even know where to start. But I get it now. I understand why you did what you did. I didn't respond. That afternoon, she came with her brother to collect some of her things. I stayed upstairs. Left a note on the dining table with instructions. Take only what's yours. Leave the keys. Don't leave anything behind you'll regret seeing again. She didn't come up. I heard boxes. Zippers. One soft sob. Then nothing. And just like that, she was gone. What followed wasn't triumph. There were no victory laps. No playlist of breakup anthems. No champagne popping in the living room. It was quieter than that. Lonelier, yes. But honest. I spent the next week going through the house like it belonged to someone else. Reclaiming drawers. Repainting walls. Deleting old digital calendars that still reminded me of anniversary dinners we never made it to. People started asking questions. Friends, co-workers, her parents. I told the truth, mostly. Not out of spite, but because I had nothing left to protect. Not my pride. Not her image. Not the idea of us. One night, about a month later, I got an email. Long, emotional. The subject line read, I laughed because I didn't know what else to do. She told me she'd ruined the best thing she ever had. Said the affair wasn't about Mason. It was about feeling seen. About chasing something that made her feel new again. Fresh. Untouchable. She thought I'd always be there. Always waiting. Always catching the pieces she let break. But when she came back, the pieces were hers to pick up. Her words didn't make me angry. They made sense. Not because I agreed, but because that kind of broken logic is how people justify betrayal. She wasn't evil. She wasn't heartless. She was just selfish. And tired of pretending she wasn't. That night, I drafted a response. I never sent it. But I'll share part of it here. Dear Tasha, you're right. You didn't know what else to do. So you laughed. But here's the thing about laughter. When it's real, it invites people in. When it's nervous, it pushes them away. You laughed because you thought I didn't see you. But I did. Every version of you. Even the one who lied to me with a smile. I waited for a long time. Waited for you to come home. For you to look me in the eyes and tell me I still mattered. But I was never the one you were running back to. So no, I didn't wait up. I chose not to. And when I changed the locks, it wasn't revenge. It was mercy for both of us. Be well. Just be better. There's a different kind of strength in walking away without the need to be applauded for it. In choosing peace over punishment. In knowing that your silence says more than any scream ever could. She laughed when she left. She cried when she returned. And me? I healed in the quiet after the door closed. And I never looked back.